All right, everyone. The time is now 2 p.m. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar, and I am Judge Melanie Williams. This calendar is for those individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All individuals, this particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney today. All right. Have all members of the Public Defender's Office and defense attorneys had the opportunity to speak with their clients?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. And good morning. Good afternoon. Sorry, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Will we require an interpreter today? Is anyone aware?
I believe there was one case that we needed an interpreter, but if we cannot have one by 2 p.m., she was willing to waive.
All right. Will we have one today, Ms. Champion? Or Ms. Bridgewater, do you know?
Let me check because I didn't see a request in my email from
Okay.
Mr. Jordan. So let me check right quick, Judge.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
March the 30th.
All right, those who receive a surety or cash bond will be reset to state all purpose on March the 30th. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset for the notice. All right, who do we have first?
Position number 12, Ms. Rosenberg.
All right, Ms. Rosenberg, your case is 23 CR 001662J. You're charged with battery family violence in this case, and the offense date is March the 17th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, I do.
All right. Because we don't yet have pretrial, Ms. Dillingham, will you please give me the history, please, as well as your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't have a history, and I would ask that this defendant has a co-defendant as well, and so we would ask that he be
okay. If we
possible.
don't have the history, we probably need to take another position, because the history is going to be important to a battery family violence case.
Oh, I'm saying I don't have history for her, period, in GCIC. So I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were saying you don't have, I understand now. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, Your Honor, my client has no history.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred. Give me one moment to just re-pull that up. I beg the court's indulgence. I apologize for that. So this incident occurred. Officers were dispatched to 3651 Lenox Road in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, they were greeted by Ms. Rosenberg, the defendant in this case, who came to the door and notified the officers that she and her boyfriend were in a altercation. The officers entered and observed broken glasses and dishes everywhere, and they made contact with the co-defendant in this as well and noticed that he was also notably inebriated. The officers believed that both of the defendants had been drinking heavily. Due to both defendants having significant bruising and cuts on both of them, the officers were unable to determine who started the altercation, who was the primary aggressor. This defendant does not have any previous history. We do believe this is her first arrest. And so for that reason, the state is recommending a $1,500 surety bond and no further contact with the co-defendant in this case, Stephen, Stephen, Carly, and and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. We do believe that the address is Mr. Carly, the other co-defendant's address, 3651 Lenox Road. So we would ask this defendant to stay away from that location.
All right, thank you. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 55 years old. As the state has stated, she has been criminal arrest. She has a master's degree and she works as an educator with special needs children. This was a very unfortunate incident between herself and her fiance, Your Honor. She tells me that she's not in the least bit afraid of Mr. Carly and she would like to maintain no further violent contact. She does want to have contact with him, Your Honor. As the court knows, this is a dual arrest. So she would just like to have contact, and I would ask the court for a signature bond for her, given the fact that she has no criminal history. Nothing further, Your Honor.
If I ordered to stay away, does she have somewhere she could stay temporarily? I do not believe there's been a sufficient cooling off period at this time, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor, she does have somewhere that she can stay.
All right.
And Your
All
Honor,
right.
on the record, we would object to anything else but a no further contact.
All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services per judge. She is to take the one-day anger awareness course. She's to have no further contact with the cross defendant and stay away from the address on Lenox Road. She can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items. Additionally, she's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Contact can be revisited at a later date. All right, is there anything further?
Nothing further for my client, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Ms. Rosenberg.
Position number 18, Ms. Willard.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. Wheeler. Your case is 23 CR 001653G. You're charged with battery in this case with the offense date of February the 22nd. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard, can I have that history, please?
17 total. 2022 failure to appear, battery. Another failure to appear. 2021, she had an open case for battery. 2 counts, trespass. That's open in state court. 21 CR 007 422G as in green. That's it.
All right,
Good
thank you.
afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. Please proceed with the state's recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm also showing another open case. It's a criminal trespass, 20 CR 0004146. She has a pretrial release bond on that case as well. In this case, Your Honor, the victim, whose name is Lucian Michelin, Michelin, reported to MARTA PD that he was randomly and unprovokedly attacked by the defendant. The defendant is a complete stranger. He is unfamiliar with her. He has never seen her before. She approached him and repeatedly punched him in his face, leaving bruising under his eye and his nose. The investigator that works with MARTA PD did review CCTV. They were able to review that footage and identify the defendant based on previous incidents that she's had at the MARTA. With that being said, the state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Lucian Michelin, and a stay away from MARTA.
All right. Is Mr. Michelin on the line today? I'm sounding for Mr. Michelin at this time. All right, hearing and seeing none, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Willard is 25 years old. She is originally from New York, but she has been here in Georgia for more than 10 years. Last 2 years, she was not able to keep her job. Every 6 months, she was switching over the jobs and she couldn't find a stable job. So her financial situation is very limited. And Your Honor, indeed, I had to request the social worker services to help her to be reconnected to the program that she was actually enrolled in. She does have a program that she can return to. It's called the PAD, and we would like to request for a signature on bond so she can get there and be getting help from there. She also graduated from high school. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. She's currently in that program, Ms. Kim?
Yes.
All right. Would she have to reapply, or she's automatically in the PAD program?
That I do not know. I have to follow up on that part.
Okay, my question also is does she have an active MARTA suspension? Does anybody know?
I don't believe so. The other criminal trespass was from Georgia State University.
And not MARTA?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right, Miss Willard's gonna receive a $1,500 surety bond. She's to stay away from MARTA at this time and have no contact with Mr. Michelin. Additionally, she needs to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Miss Willard. What do we have next?
Position 1, Anderson.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Anderson. Your case is 23 CR 001667D. You're charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, driving under the influence of alcohol with a concentration of 0.08, and driving on the wrong side of the road. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have that history, please?
She got 6 arrests. 2015 FTA. 2015 driving without a valid license conviction. The other charges is ag assault on robbery out of the cab. You're on probation for that.
What year was that?
What year was what?
The ag assault?
2014, around there.
Okay,
Because in 2015 he got sentenced. But I didn't see any other DUIs in it.
okay. Thank you. Ms. Dillingham?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday, March 17th. Officers were traveling on the highway when they noticed the defendant traveling north on Highway 9. They noticed the defendant approach near the rear of the officer's vehicle, nearly striking it. And then the defendant swerved into the left lane and continued to travel in the wrong direction. The officers flashed their blue headlights and announced to the defendant to stop over, to which he did. And upon making contact with the defendant, the officers observed a smell of marijuana and alcohol emanating from the vehicle. The officers observed an open bottle of brown liquor under the front passenger seat. A field sobriety evaluation and breath test was conducted, to which the both tests indicated that the defendant was intoxicated. For that reason, Your Honor, and coupled with the severe risks and dangers to the community that driving under the influence poses, the state is recommending $3,000 surety bond. That's $1,000 on each count, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right. Ms. Melnick?
Yes, Your Honor. As pretrial stated, my client does not have any prior DUIs. This is more of an anomaly. He is a forklift operator with Mass Direct. I think this was just more of an anomaly as opposed to an ongoing issue, because he does have a family member who has passed, and the funeral for that person is scheduled to be tomorrow in Chicago. If at all possible, we are asking for a signature bond, given his lack of giving his record with no DUIs, and the fact that and we ask the court to consider, because he does need to get to Chicago for the funeral, if possible.
All right. Defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond, $1,000 on each DUI, and $500 on the driving on the wrong side of the road. He's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition.
Excuse me, ma'am, can I say something, please?
I don't think you should. You have a right to remain silent, but if it's a question about the bond,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
may do so.
Yes, ma'am. I was just wanted to know, I just wanted to be clear, what does that surety bond mean, ma'am?
All right. Ms. Melnick, will you give him a call shortly hereafter?
Yes, Your Honor. Just go through. It will just be to go through a bonding company.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Anderson. All right, who do we have next?
Position number 3, Brown.
All right, and if we can maybe take Mr. Siegler next, if possible. All right, Mr. Brown, your case number is 23 CR 001665J. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property with the offense date of July the 4th of 2022. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have that history?
18 total. 2022 trespass conviction. 2021 simple assault conviction. 2021 failure to appear probation violation and another trespass conviction. 2018 battery conviction, and he got open ag assault and on probation for trespass out of Cobb.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dillingham?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred July 4th, 2022, when officers responded to 249 Peyton Place, which is the residence of the victim. In this case, Miss Kimberly Mayer Tonye, spelled Maiertonye. The victim in this case is the defendant's mother. She explained to the officers that the defendant had arrived to her home and tried getting inside the home, to which at the time he was not welcome. He started to knock on the door and it was locked, and he became agitated and then picked up her wooden chair and threw it, causing it to break. The defendant then damaged the screen on her burglar bar door. So the victim stated that she was in fear and she wanted the defendant arrested. She had advised that he had been using drugs previously, and that was the reason that she believed he was so agitated at the time. And Your Honor, due to this incident happening during open cases, and I believe it was 4 previous criminal trespass convictions, the state's recommendation is $2,000 surety bond, and no further contact with Miss Mayer Tonye, and a stay away from 249 Peyton Place.
All right, is Miss Maya Tonye present on the Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement?
Am I
All right.
wishing to make a statement? Oh,
No, not you, sir, not you, sir. All right, Ms. Melnick, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client has spent the last 6 months in Cobb County. He is now on probation for the ag assault. I just don't think that it was updated on GCIC. As part of the probation, he is to receive the drug and alcohol counseling, which I believe was the contributing factor toward all of this. He will be living with his grandmother at 382 MacArthur Drive in Marietta, Georgia. Given the proximity, the fact that he has had a significant cooling down period of incarceration and a time to be clean, and that he is now being supervised on felony probation and is receiving drug and alcohol evaluation treatment. The present bond currently is $600, but we are asking for a signature bond given that he will be supervised.
All right, the bond will remain as set at the $600 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that address on Peyton Place, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition.
Did you say that was
600.
Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Brown.
Position 13.
All right, and if we could go into a breakout room,
Oh,
please.
Your Honor, as you're aware, the state's no longer doing breakout rooms for these type of charges.
The state may not, but the state can note their objection. All right,
Okay, but the
but
state will still be required to put our factual basis onto the record, Your
that,
Honor.
all right, if that's what you wish to do once we return from the
Okay.
breakout, Mr. Walker.
And the victim's parents are present. I would just like the court to know.
All right, thank you. All right, this is a case of, all right, Elijah Siegler, case 23. You know what, actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this case at the end in light of that reminder from the state. All right, we're gonna take that case at the end. All right,
Position
who do
6. Ellis.
All right, Mr. Ellis, your case is 23 CR 001661C. You're charged with disorderly conduct and possession of marijuana less than an ounce with the offense date of March the 15th. Do you understand your rights?
yes, ma'am.
All right. Before I begin with Mr. Ellis's case, I do see that we're going to have an interpreter today. Ms. Kim, do you need the use of the interpreter to speak with your client?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We'll take the interpretation case next.
Well, actually, she hasn't been interviewed because this is not the same person Ms. Kim talked to. This is another young lady.
Okay, so Ms. Kim needs to speak with that person as well.
I'm not sure.
What's the name, please? Because I don't want to have a conflict of interest. If
She,
they were, are they co-defendants?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
What's the name of the person?
Position number 8.
Daniel?
Well, excuse me, I just received information that her bond has been
Release.
posted.
Yeah.
She's leaving now. Don't worry about it.
Okay, never
Okay.
mind then.
Okay,
So
so then
position
Oh,
number
okay.
8 is being
We're-
released.
number
Yes,
8 is
ma'am.
released.
Okay.
All right, so to clarify, we have Spanish interpretation on the line, and Ms. Kim, you don't need to speak with your client. We can go into, all right. So hopefully we can take that case. All right, can I have Mr. Ellis's history, please, Mr. Howard?
16 total. 2019 battery DV no load. 2011 simple assault, failure to appear conviction. 2010 obstruction conviction. 2009 ag assault robbery, possession of a firearm during the commission, criminal attempt to commit robbery conviction. That's it.
All right, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Ms. Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred March 15th of this year when officers responded to the Wayfield store located at 2020 Headland Drive. There, they learned that the defendant had entered the store and began threatening employees as well as customers with violence. The defendant was yelling at the individuals, stating that he would shoot up the store. And the employees and customers were in fear for their lives at the time. When officers arrived, they searched the defendant and they confiscated marijuana on his person. And due to the alarming history, including a armed robbery conviction in 2014 and simple assault conviction 2012, the state does have concerns that this defendant poses a risk of danger to the community. And the state's recommendation for that reason is $2,500 surety bond. That's $2,000 on the disorderly and $500 for the marijuana possession, as well as a stay away order from the Wayfield store located at 2020 Headland Drive.
All right, thank you. Ms. Melnick, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, I didn't have my camera on at first. Yes, Your Honor. My client is, he stated to me that he is tired and that he is presently on receiving SSI disability. So he is on disability with a minimum income. We are asking for $1,000 signature bond on this case, because basically, with given his limited income, any type of surety bond will be equivalent to a no bond.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant, excuse me, will receive a $2,000 split bond. It's $1,000 surety on count 1 and $1,000 SOB through the jail on count 2. He's to stay away from that Wakefield grocery store on Headland and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further.
No, Your
All right.
Honor.
Best of luck to you, Mr. Ellis. Who do we have next?
Number 16, Tom.
All right, Mr. Thomas, your case is 23 CR 001655E. In this case, you're charged with simple battery, family violence, with the offense date of February the 23rd. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have that history, please?
What arrest number 4, 2014, theft by taking. I think he was arrested last month. Ag assault and battery out of the cab. That's open.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor,
Mr.
just to clarify, that was an act of assault, battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree out of the cab.
Is it the same victim?
I do not believe so, but the victim,
Okay.
who's his sister, is on the line, so I would let her confirm if she would like to address the court. Her name is Miss Thomas, Abiana Thomas. Please forgive me if I mispronounced her name. But on this day, her and the defendant, who's her brother, got into an argument about the child care of his son. At that time, he did push Miss Thomas into a wall and strike her with a toy truck. Because of the defendant,
Strike you with what? I'm sorry.
a toy truck, and
Oh,
pushed
a
her
toy truck. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
and pushed her into the wall. Based upon his history, we are asking for a $2,000 surety bond and no further violent contact with the victim. She is on the line, and I would like for the court to sign for her at the appropriate
Okay.
time.
Ms. Thomas, if you'd like to make a statement, please raise your right hand and unmute your screen.
Hi,
Do you
yes,
swear
so,
and wait. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
yes.
All right. What would you like to tell the court? The main thing the court is concerned with is whether you would wish to still have contact with your brother at this time.
Yeah, so this incident happened last year, of February, not last month. Also, when I called the police, the officer actually said he wasn't going to move forward because I was so upset I gave him the wrong birthday. Another thing too, I didn't want my brother to go to jail. Like, that's my big brother. I just want the officer to talk to him, not press charges against him. And he's, my nephew's dad. Of course, I still want contact with him. Once again, that's my oldest brother.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement.
Yeah, like I didn't have like any bruises. He didn't hit me or anything. So I'm not sure how it got escalated this far.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Thomas is 28 years old. He was born here in Georgia. And Your Honor, he has been working at Village. I don't know the whole entire name, but he's been working at one place. He's gainfully employed for more than 1 year and 5 months. He completed GED, and he has been proud father of 2 children, and indeed 2 years old and 4 years old. One of them has COVID, and also he's suffering from asthma, and he really needs to return to take care of him. Your Honor, this incident happened on March 1st, 2022. As his sister indicated, we would like to request for no further violent contact and signature on bond for this. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond. He's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition of that bond. Is there anything further from either the state or the defense as it pertains to Mr. Thomas's case?
No,
What was the bond amount again?
$1,500 surety.
All right, thank you.
All right,
you.
that completes Mr. Thomas's case. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do
Your
we have
Honor,
next?
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I see Miss Shay Wilson. I believe she's on our calendar. I'm guessing she probably bonded out. She's position 20. I didn't know if you want to address her or
It's a
Okay.
male.
Shay Wilson. Oh,
Mr. Wilson, are you present on this Zoom conference?
Yeah.
He's here in the courtroom.
Okay. there's
Okay, so I'm
someone.
assuming that might be a
Got
witness
it.
or somebody.
Thank
All right.
No, Shay Wilson is a case that I believe Mr. Walker and I
Right,
can
we-
handle.
I
Georgie
had-
Corley emailed you about it earlier, Mr.
Yes,
Walker?
yes, I'm aware of that case. All right, but I think that person did not bond out. That's a witness as it pertains to that
Correct.
case.
Thank you.
All right, who do we
Oh, yeah,
have?
it's his
next?
mom. That is his mom.
All right.
Position number 4.
Ms. Champion, will you please let me know when interpretation comes on the line? Thank you. All right, good afternoon. This is case 23 CR 001664J. The case of Stephen Carley. Mr. Carley, in this case, you're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of March the 17th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is his first arrest. We'll go to Ms. Dillingham, but this is the case that we've already discussed with the cross defendant, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If you'd like to put on your case very briefly, since I'm aware of the facts, and give me the state's recommendation, Ms. Dillingham, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Yes. The state's recommendation in this case, and as I mentioned, I would like to just put this on the record once again. The victim in this case, who is also the co-defendant, Miss Leah Rosenberg, the defendant and the co-defendant were in a altercation at their place of residence, 3651 Lenox Road. And officers entered and observed broken glasses and dishes everywhere, and cuts and lacerations to both defendants. In this case, the state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond and no further contact with Leah Rosenberg, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And we don't have a stay away order in this case due to the fact that 3651 Lenox Road is this defendant's address.
All right, Ms. Melnick, I'm inclined to give him the same bond that I gave to Ms. Rosenberg, which will be the 3,000 signature through pretrial. But I'd like to hear a little bit about his employment as well as his ties to the community to make sure that that's appropriate. So please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, he is a veteran, and he does work in wealth management. He has he's been in Atlanta for numerous years, and he has a steady job, and he's been there for I think approximately 6 years. So he does have strong ties. This is his apartment. We are asking and we would appreciate the not having to stay away because this is his place of residence.
All right. At this time, defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services per judge. He is to complete the 1-day anchor awareness course and have no contact with Ms. Rosenberg. Again, contact can be revisited at a later date as the court does not believe there's been a sufficient cooling off period. However, there will not be a stay away put in place as the evidence before the court is that the incident location is his home. All right. Does that conclude Mr. Carley's case?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Position 5, Diaz.
All right.
Your Honor, just briefly, I just got a chat saying that my client, Korean interpreter, is no longer needed since she banded out.
Oh, wait. No, did we need a Spanish interpreter today for anybody? Was that?
No, ma'am. She speaks English and she's going pro se.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Champion, we may not need the interpretation. All right. Mr. Diaz, your case is 23 CR 001663J. In this case, you're charged with driving following too closely and DUI less safe with the offense date of March the 17th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have his history, please?
Third arrest, 2014 possession of marijuana, 2013 driving without a valid license. I think that was not on docket.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Dillingham?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday, March 17th. Officers observed the defendant driving his Dodge Ram in the eastbound direction on Woodstock Road between approaching Bowen Road. There they witnessed the defendant rear end another vehicle as a result of following too closely. The officers pulled the defendant over. He exited the vehicle, and the officers observed that his eyes were red and watery, that he smelled of alcohol. The officers questioned the defendant and asked him if he had been drinking, to which he stated yes, he had been drinking before he got into the vehicle. Your Honor, due to the fact that this was around 8:43 p.m., a peak time when other people are on the road, and as a result of this, another car was hit, we do have the state does have concerns about reoffense. And so for that reason, the state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond, that $2,000 for the DUI and $500 for driving too closely, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Thank you. Ms. Melnick?
Yes, your client. Sorry.
It's Saturday. It's okay. Go ahead.
I've been up early.
It's okay.
Okay, Your Honor. Yes, my client, as the pretrial has stated, he has no significant record. He has no any type of alcohol-related charge, whether it be DUI or any other serious charge. He does work construction. He's been doing that for several years. Given that that minimal criminal history, which is basically just driving, which was a driving without a license, but he does have a valid license now. He does have valid insurance now. We are asking for a signature bond on his cases.
All right, at this time, defendant's gonna receive a $1,500 surety bond. It's gonna be $500 for count 1 and $1,000 count 2. He's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition of that surety bond. Is there anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Diaz. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Position number 9, Lazzaroni.
I thought that
I thought he
position
bonded out.
Did not bond out?
It shows in the system he bonded up.
Oh, he did? Well,
Yeah, it shows that bond was posted.
I think it's, Your Honor, I spoke to him. I know his mother is an attorney because he said she may be representing him. She may have just bonded him out. It just may not have.
Miss Holly, do you see that? That he's bonded out, he's made bond?
Says a second chance bail bond.
Okay,
see it,
so
Blunt?
I think Mr. Lazzaroni has made bond and should be released.
Yeah.
Blunt, do you see it?
No, I didn't see it. It must have happened after I got started. I don't.
I want to confirm them. I don't want him to be sitting there if he needs a bond made.
I'm sitting on the front row.
Well, it's a $6,000 bond, Judge, just so you know.
Okay, so I guess if worst case, I could set it at what he made.
Yeah, the
All right.
DUI 5,000 and the erratic is 1,000.
Okay, so what we'll do is if there is an issue later, I'll set it at the bond he already made. All right, who do we have next?
17, Wall.
Judge, if I could just inquire to the court really quick.
Yes.
I represent Paul Perdue. I just want to make sure that he's on the calendar for today.
He is.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, and if we could take that case next, if we could take Mr.
What was
Perdue
the client's name again? I didn't
next. Paul Perdue, if we could take that case next. All right, who do I have before me
I'm
again?
sorry, he's in medical, so we don't have anyone up there yet. It's just 2 of us working, so he's gonna have to stand by till somebody go to medical.
Okay, all right, well, I appreciate you trying. Who's before me right now?
17, Wall.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wall, is it Walls? Mr. Walls, your case is 23 CR 001654B. You're charged with hit and run and duty to stop at the scene with the offense date of June the 19th of 2022. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Can I have the history?
He got 20 total. The last arrest was 2011 forgery, identity theft conviction. He got a suspended license, NOLO, and an 09 parole violation.
Any other hit and runs?
I stopped. I'm not sure.
I didn't see any, Your Honor.
You didn't see any. All right, wonderful. Thank you. Mr. Walker, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. On June 19th of last year, APD responded to a hit and run incident at the intersection of Longhorn and I-20 eastbound. Upon speaking with the victim, they were able to get the tag number of the car that left the scene. APD did reach out to the owner of the vehicle. She advised that the defendant was in possession of her car at the time of the incident. At that time, a warrant was taken out for his arrest for hit and run. The state is asking that the bond as sit, which is a $2,500 surety, remain in place and no driving without a valid license.
Okay, I'm sorry. Someone informed the police that he was driving the vehicle, Mr. Walker?
Yes, they reached out to the owner of the vehicle, and she gave the information that Mr. Michael Walls had her vehicle at that time.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Walls is 45 years old, single, and Your Honor, he has been working at State Farm Arena as a conversion tech. He graduated from high school, and Your Honor, my client denies the allegation, and we would like to request for a signature on bond. This happened last year. There was no violence, no injuries made. We would like to request for a signature on bond. And also, if we have to have a no driving, at least have a permit to limited permit to drive for work and attorney and court and medical reasons. Thank you.
All right, at this time, defendant is going to receive $1,000 surety bond, 500 on each count. Additionally, he needs to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition.
Your
Is there
Honor,
anything?
it's separated on the counter, but that's actually only one count.
Oh, you're right. You're correct. It is spaced out. So it'll just be $1,000 surety bond on that one charge. And he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Thank you, Mr. Walker. All right, that concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Number 20, Wilson.
Okay, this case, we do need a breakout. So if I can be placed in a breakout, please, for Mr. Wilson's case. Before I'll read it on the record though. Mr. Wilson, your case is 23 CR 001651A. You're charged with criminal trespass with the offense date of March the 17th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard, will you put his history onto the record?
Who's this?
Number 20, Mr. Wilson.
6 total, 2022 trespass, 2018 giving false name, 2018 battery DV.
Okay, thank you. If I could be placed in a breakout with Mr. Walker and Ms. Kim and whoever else from the state may want to join. Ms. Melnick is
Easy,
welcome
Melnick.
as well.
Yes, yes, Your Honor, it's gonna be my case.
All right, if you could place Ms. Melnick, Ms. Kim, Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker, is anyone coming with you?
I believe his mother is on the,
Okay, and yes, if we could also place the name that says Shay Wilson into that breakout as well. All right, after meeting with all parties in breakout, Mr. Wilson will receive a $4,000 surety bond. He's to stay away from the hotel located on Old Dogwood Place. Additionally, he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and he'll be reset specially to a calendar on March the 23rd. Is there anything further from either party? All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Wilson. That concludes your case. All right. And Ms. Wilson, you're free to go unless you would like to watch the remainder of court, which of course you are welcome to do.
No, I'm going. Thank you.
Here.
Bye.
All right, who do we have next?
Isaiah, Amir.
Position 7, Mr. Jackson.
How y'all doing?
All right, Mr. Jackson, your case is 23 CR 001658F. You're charged with criminal damage and criminal trespass and damage to property. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Because it's his first, let's go straight to Ms. Dillingham. Ms. Dillingham, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Officers responded to 2079 Princeton Drive in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon entry into the home, they met with the victim, Miss Wanda Walker, who advised that the defendant, who was her son, was being verbally abusive towards her as well as violent. Miss Walker stated that the defendant did not report to school, and when she addressed that with him, he became angry and a verbal dispute ensued, to which the defendant grabbed some wooden chairs and slammed them into the wall, breaking them. Miss Walker did state that she wanted to press charges. So for that reason, the state is going to recommend a $1,000 surety bond, a stay away order from 2079 Princeton Drive, and a no further contact with Miss Wanda Walker. And we would also like to sound for her as she may be on the Zoom today.
All right, Ms. Walker, if you're present and wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity to speak. All right, hearing and seeing none, Ms. McLeod, please proceed. And I believe, is your client 17 years old?
He is 17 years old, Your Honor. He is still in high school. He is an 11th grader at Banneker High School, and he does live at home with his mom, his eldest, and 7 other siblings, brothers and sisters. He has expressed his remorse over what happened, Your Honor. Said he had missed the bus and he didn't have the money to reload his MARTA card, and he was feeling a little frustrated because he was missing school and he really needs to catch up based on what he needs to do. I was not able to get in contact with mom, Your Honor, but he doesn't have anywhere else he can go. And he's only 17 years old. Parents do have a responsibility for their minor children, and he still is a minor. And I do believe that
before you leave that point, Ms. McLeod, he would need a co-signer anyway. He is recommended for pretrial, and I'm inclined to give it to him in light of his age. But if his mother, you haven't gotten in contact with her, I can't really send him back there without speaking with her. And then there's nobody to co-sign to get him out of jail. Does he have any other relatives?
No, Your Honor, if the prosecutor is inclined to give me her number, I can call and ask her. My client could not remember what her phone number was. And of course, he didn't have access to his phone. He asked me to try to find her on Facebook. I was unable to do so.
I saw Mr. Walker unmuted. Mr. Walker, do you have any contact for this defendant's family?
I was going to say we tried and we were unable to reach her as well. I'll be glad to share the information that we do have, but we had no success.
Okay, so we're all in the same situation. Correct. I do believe in light of his age and the charge, a signature bond is appropriate here. However, somebody has to sign him out because of his age. So we're kind of in a conundrum here. And I'd have to have the victim's consent for him to return home, really, Ms. McLeod. So I don't know what we were going to do at this time with Mr. Jackson. I don't believe the place for him is the Fulton County Jail. So I'm sorry, I did cut you off. You can continue.
Your Honor, I would like to speak to my client again because I cannot imagine a mother on earth over a minor incident like that would want her minor child to be in jail. And I really want to see if I can reach out to her.
Okay.
And for
If
the
you-
record, Your Honor, the state is completely unopposed to a signature bond.
All right. I'm gonna give you a moment. Maybe could you give the jail a call, Ms. McLeod?
Yes,
He's
Your Honor.
gonna
I will.
receive a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. For right now, because I've not heard from the victim, he would have to have no contact with her and stay away. It's not ideal.
I'm just wondering, where does a 17-year-old who is not
I don't know it,
has
but if
no
we,
income
and
go?
then even the problem, Ms. McLeod, is if she doesn't come down to sign him out, or he doesn't have someone else to sign him out, he's ineligible to sign his own stuff out. So we need her is the reality, or we
I
need
don't
her.
have a phone number for her. I did try looking her up on Facebook.
Mrs.
Right,
Cloud, I will give you the number I have, and I just checked the notes, Your Honor. This incident just happened yesterday. There is a number on the police report. We called it. A lady answered and said we had the wrong number. So you can make of that what you may. But I will be glad to give you the information that we
Right.
have.
I don't feel comfortable to say that he can return home.
I understand, Your Honor, but I do believe that adults do have a responsibility for the children they bring in.
I understand, but as a mother, I completely understand that statement. But at the same time, if she's not here to make that statement to me that she's ready for him to return home, I don't feel comfortable to make that order. So please, if you'd like to speak with your client or try that number again.
I would like to try the number again, and I would definitely like to speak to my client because the idea of a 17-year-old just languishing in jail
I agree.
does not sit well with me at all.
I'll put it in the chat, Ms. McLeod.
Okay.
And like I said, he is getting the signature bond, so I am letting him out of the jail.
What's the mother's name?
That's Mr. Jackson, position 7.
What's the mother's name?
Oh, we don't know.
Wanda Walker.
Yes.
Ms. McLeod, is there an aunt or uncle that you're aware that he could stay with?
Not that I'm aware, but I'm going to call him again to find out. To be honest with you, I didn't even ask about that because I just assumed the mom was going to be on Zoom. This is her child.
Yes, I understand. All right. Well, we will be temporarily on hold on Mr. Jackson's case. Miss McLeod is going to give you a call, Mr. Jackson, okay? I'd also like to add that Mr. Jackson must continue and be fully engaged in his school work at Banneker High School as part of my order. So
We will
that you
also
must,
request the curfew, Your Honor.
I need to figure out where he's going first.
Understood.
Then we can address those things. But I am assuming he can still get to school no matter where he may be. So he must be fully engaged in school. All right.
He's expressed to me that school is very, very important to him. We had a long talk, and he has, and part of the issue was that he really needed to get to school on Friday. He missed the bus and he didn't have any money for his MARTA card, he was telling me, and he was asking, and it sort of became an argument. So he was feeling a little frustrated because he knew he was missing something important at school that he had to do.
All right, please give the jail a call. We'll be on hold.
I will do
For
that,
now,
yeah.
the order is as previously given. All right.
Thank you, and I will call the jail.
All right. All right. Who do we have next?
Position 2.
All right, Mr. Benz, your case is 23 CR 001666J. You're charged with obstruction and criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights? All right, thank you. Mr. Howard, can I have his history, please?
32 total.
You said 32 or 3? I'm sorry.
32.
Okay, go ahead.
He was arrested this year for trespass. That's up in state court, 23 CR 000779J. On probation in Superior Court for burglary in the 2nd degree. Last year they gave him 4 years. Well, back in December they gave him 4 years probation for that. It's 22 SC 181742. 2021 trespass obstruction. 2019 trespass. He got a lot of trespass in his history.
Okay, that's sufficient then. Mr. Walker, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant was arrested at the Shell gas station located at 3 74 Cleveland Avenue. He had previously been trespassed from that location before. He did resist arrest. He was booked for criminal trespass and obstruction. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond to the criminal trespass, of course, a stay away from the incident location, and $1,000 surety on the obstruction.
All right, thank you, Ms. Melnick.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is unemployed, and he does have an address at 4601 Herschel Road in College Park. Given that he's unemployed, basically any bond or any amount is going to be paramount to a no bond for him. We are asking for a signature bond on his case.
All right, Mr. Benz will receive $1,000 surety, 500 on each count, and he is to stay away from the address on Cleveland Avenue, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Benz. Who do we have next?
I still have Mr. Siegler, 13, but the courtroom is not clear yet.
Okay. What about Mr. Perdue?
We got an officer headed to medical right now as we speak.
Okay, so we'll probably take that one next.
Your Honor, while we're not just a little bit of a holding pattern, I am so sorry to ask, but could the court tell me what the ruling was on Mr. Ellis?
It was reset to the SAP calendar, which is March 30th, with a $2,000 total split bond.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater, because I couldn't read what I wrote myself. I was unaware. So
I'm going to hold the two of you in contempt.
I couldn't read what I wrote, so that's wonderful. All right. All right. We are temporarily holding. Let's do, is Mr. Perdue. In the meantime, are there other announcements for people who have been reset medical or released?
Where's number 10?
Oh,
That
actually,
was my question.
We have not done number 10.
No, we haven't done. All right, is number 10, Mr. Pena, gonna be brought today?
It's a female.
Oh, I'm sorry,
she's in tank number 12. She said she want to go process, so she got a little MH going on, so I wanted to bring her by herself as well.
Okay. All right, and you said our courtroom is not yet clear. Is that because Mr. Jackson is still there?
Yes, and Benz. I'm getting ready to take them out now, so I'm gonna put him in the back until I come back. I'll just take them on out.
All right.
Okay.
And hopefully, if Ms. McLeod is successful, I can still change the order outside of Mr. Jackson's presence. Oh, all right. And also, is there the jail is gone. Does anyone know if there was an announcement for 14 and 15? Did they bond out?
14,
Yes, Elijah
I
Smith
show
and
nothing.
Wyatt.
I show nothing for either one.
Okay, we'll wait for the jails to come back. Ms. Kim, you're coming on. Did you know what happened to those or Mr. Walker?
No, they're my clients. That's all I know. I interviewed them. They should be coming.
Oh, so they should be, maybe they're in medical as well. Let's hope.
Okay.
Not that we're hoping that they're in medical, but let's hope that they can be brought today. Let's put it that way. All right, we'll be on a very, very brief recess. All right, I see the jail court's iPhone has joined us.
We got Judge, we have Perdue.
All right, Mr. Perdue, your case is 20. Can he hear? Are you all able to hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Perdue, your case is 23 CR 001622H. My name is Judge Melanie Williams, and today you're at the State Expedited Accusations calendar. You have the absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. Do you understand those rights and how I'm conducting this hearing today? You can just nod for me. Do you understand? All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Howard, can I have his history, please?
Second arrest. Last arrest was 1999 shoplifting. He got a TPO issued in January out of Douglas County. Victim in that case was Margaret Kimbrough.
Margaret what?
Kimbrough. It's a year, yeah, I think it was issued January, so it goes from this January to next January.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor, and then Ms. Kimbrough is the same victim as in this case. She is on the line. So of course I would ask for the court to sound for her when appropriate. But this is a case is about the defendant contacting the victim repeatedly from a period of July of last year up until November of last year. The defendant currently, or was at the time, Atlanta police officer. He did call her job and identify himself as an officer and stated that the victim was under investigation for drug use. However, at that time, he gave her job a fictitious name. Due to that false complaint filed with her employer, she did unfortunately lose her job. We are asking for a $3,000 surety bond on the harassing communications, $3,000 on the stalking, $3,000 on the tampering with evidence. The basis for the tampering with evidence is when he went and met with the investigator that was investigating this case, they seized his work and his personal cell phone, and he had factory reset both of those phones. So again, we're asking for a total of $9,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, whose name is Margaret Kimbrough, and to stay away from her residence. And she is on the line.
All right, Ms. Kimbrough, if you'd like to make a statement, please raise your right hand and turn on your camera. Sounding again for Ms. Kimbrough. I see her on the line, but Ms. Kimbrough, I'm assuming that by not turning on your camera that you do not wish to make a statement. All right. Mr. Vixen, please proceed.
Yes, and good afternoon, Judge. Mr. Perdue is 43 years old. He's born, raised, lived in Atlanta his whole life. He attended GSU, where he received a bachelor's degree in communication. He does support a 13-year-old child. He has worked for the city of Atlanta now for over a decade. Other than the one other arrest we heard of, that is the only one on his record. He's got no FTAs, Judge. We are going to be asking for a signature bond in this case.
All right. At this time, defendant will receive a $7,000 surety bond. It'll be $3,000 on the first two counts, $1,000 on the remaining count. He's to have absolutely no contact with Ms. Kimbrough. He is to stay away from her address, wherever that should be. And additionally, he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
No, Judge. Thank you.
All right. And does that conclude your business with the court, Mr. Vixen?
It does. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Take care. Have
Thank
a
you,
good
Judge.
day. All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Perdue. Are there any other announcements for the cases that we asked for earlier? Mr. Smith, there were 2 cases with the last name Smith. There was a Wyatt Smith and an Elijah Smith. Are either of those 2 at medical?
They're on the 3 South medical floor, and they'll be given to them shortly. But if you want to go ahead and proceed with position number 13, the courtroom is clear.
All right, courtroom is clear. We'll go ahead with 13. I've already read that case. I will not sound the charge, even though I'm sure the state will sound the charge. Mr. Walker, I understand the state's position. I would only ask that you refer to the minor child by initials and refer to the parents by the first letter of their initials as well. I understand that there may be some concerns, but at least because of the nature of the victim in this case, I want to make sure that the victim is not able to be identified by any way, if that makes sense.
The
And
state
it's
totally
clear.
agrees, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Howard, can I have Mr. Siegler's history? I believe I read his case number, but let's just verify. Mrs. Siegler, do you understand your rights here today?
He does, Judge. I'm Larry Cohen. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Siegler.
Okay, and Mr. Cohn, you understood my instructions as well. All right, so we're gonna refer to the victim by initials only, and the parents, I understand, may be on. I am gonna ask the parents to change your, I don't want any identifying information. So if you could change your names on the screen to first names only, I would appreciate that, all right? Mr. Howard, can I have his history, please?
Second arrest. He was arrested this year for giving false name, drugs not in original container, possession of a controlled substance, sale of marijuana, possession of drug-related objects. That was out of Woodstock. That's it.
All right, Mr. Walker, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. And in addition, associated with the arrest that pretrial just stated, I'm showing that there was a count of furnishing alcohol to a minor. But in this case, on October 22nd of last year, the father of the victim, the juveniles whose initials are EF, came into the Johns Creek Police Precinct and met with a Detective Moeller. The father of the victim stated that a Plan B box was found in his daughter's book bag. He also obtained a video of his daughter discussing with the defendant sexual intercourse that they had previously engaged in earlier that day. The detective was able to meet with the juvenile 4 days later. She did confirm that her and the defendant were in fact in a sexual relationship and they had had sexual intercourse approximately 2 to 3 times. She did confirm that the defendant did give her a Plan B contraception pill, and she did confirm that the defendant had even visited her at her high school. The state has some concerns because it's my understanding that the defendant is a resident in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. It's my understanding that he is in the Army. And additionally, he was previously arrested on narcotics charges and furnishing alcohol to a minor just 3 days ago. We will be asking for a $10,000 surety bond in this matter. We are asking for a stay away from the victim's father's home. We're asking for a stay away from the victim's mother's home. And we're also asking for a stay away from the victim's high school.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm making some notes. All right, I will hear from the parents very briefly. And I know you're gonna object to that, Mr. Cohn. But again, I wanna remind you both, this is a bond hearing. It's not a probable cause hearing. We're not setting forth any evidence today. I'm not sentencing him today. I'm merely setting a bond. And as this is a misdemeanor charge, he is entitled to a bond. So he will receive one today. I do not want you to get very much into the facts of this case, as I believe the state has adequately set forth to me what's happened, and I'm well versed in the nature of the charges. But I will hear from the young lady named Holly, if you would. And I'm calling you just that because, again, I'm doing my best to make sure that the victim here is protected. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what would you like to tell me?
I would like to just speak on behalf of my daughter, who has been under great emotional distress over this issue, both because of what happened and because of pressure from other students at the school. The defendant's sister is still at the high school, his twin sister, and People are making comments in the hallways and such. So we're just a little bit worried about the impact of that to her mental health. She is currently in therapy. That's probably going to happen for a long time because of this.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. The gentleman by the name of initials WF, do you have anything to add? If you do, please raise your right hand.
Your Honor, I don't have anything further to add.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cohn, please proceed.
First, Your Honor, I want to bring up the fact that back in December, two things. First, when we handle generally misdemeanor calendars like this, or even felony calendars, generally on felony calendars, I'm not aware of the state stipulating or putting out a factual basis like this. And going forward, this is the first time I've had that happen even on a misdemeanor case of this nature. But here's what I'd like to mention. In December, when the Sieglers reached out to me, we turned him into the Fulton County Jail. He actually came down to the jail in December, and apparently the electronic warrant didn't show up on the system. We got a hold of the detective, who I don't know whether he reissued the warrant or put it back in so that it would show. Mr. Siegler is currently at Fort Campbell, Kentucky in the military, okay? And apparently had come down to Georgia, is my understanding. He was arrested in Woodstock and charged with the possession of drugs, possession of alcohol by a minor since he's only 18 years old. He previously attended school with, my understanding is with the victim. He graduated from the GED Army program down at Fort Gordon over in Georgia. He was 18, she was 15. They engaged in a relationship as teenagers do. My understanding is he doesn't have a twin sister who goes to the high school. He doesn't have a twin sister. So we would just simply ask the court, and that's from a text from his mother who happens to be on the phone call. He has tried to turn himself into the jail. They're just siblings, so they may not be a twin. Thank you. I got a text from the mother. I get it. I understand where the other family is coming from. But we would ask this court for a signature bond. He's going back. There's no reason that we can certainly adhere to no contact provision in this case. There's no allegation of force or things of that nature. It's simply two teenagers who engaged arguably in an act, but for the fact that he's 18 and she's 15, who go to the same school or who did it at one point, and that's how they know one another. But we will certainly make sure that they don't maintain any sort of relationships. And we would ask the court for a signature bond. He will be going back to the military, and his mother resides here. He's lived in Georgia his whole life.
Okay, understood, Mr. Cohn.
Unlike the violent cases that the state hears, that's not what's being alleged here. So,
all right, understood. At this time, defendant will receive a $5,000 surety bond. He's to have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim in this case and must stay away from the residence of both her parents. Additionally, he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition of that surety bond. He'll be reset to state all purpose on March the 30th, should he not make that bond. Is there anything further?
Did you include the stay away from the high school, Your Honor?
Oh, and stay away from the high school, yes.
And I'm putting those addresses in the chat to Ms. Bridgewater.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Mr. Cohn, does that conclude your business before the court today?
It does. You guys have a nice weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you.
All right. And of course, you both are free to just continue to join us, but that does conclude that case as well. All right, we are still holding for the cases of both Smiths. And Ms. McLeod, did you have an announcement?
Your Honor, I was unable to make any contact. My clients, both of his grandparents, all of his grandparents are dead. And all of his siblings are younger than he is. He could not give me a good phone number for anyone. Ms. Kim had sent me 2 phone numbers. I called. One of them, someone answered, but would not speak to me, essentially. I did call back and leave a voicemail indicating who I was. One of the other number just rang without answer. I just want to make sure I have a good physical address for the mother because I may have to drive to her house. I can't imagine someone just leaving their kid in jail.
I can understand that. I don't think Mr. Walker or Ms. Dillingham would oppose chatting you that address. But for now, the order will remain. He has a signature bond. We just need someone to sign him out. And
right. And that's what I'm trying to see if, I think I heard Princeton something. I don't know if that's in the Camp Creek area, the address.
I'm
It
sending
sounded
it to
like
you
it.
in the chat right now.
Thank you.
Well, it'd have to be the mother to sign him out. That's the name going on
Why?
the order. Because that's the name going on the order.
Well, I mean, if Miss McLeod gives me another name, I
Before
could change
we,
that, Mr. Howard.
you talking about before
Mr.
we
Howard, the
finish?
problem is the problem. Well, not before we finish.
Well, then the order have to be amended. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, I understand that, but the problem is, I would
No, I
prefer
know what
it
the
not.
problem is.
I prefer it not be the mother, honestly. But if
Oh.
that's all he has,
But technically, it ain't supposed to be the victim. To be honest with you.
I'm
Yeah.
aware of that rule as well.
Yeah.
I'm aware. That's why I was hoping she would refer us to an uncle or a neighbor or someone else.
This is what I tried, but my client he told me both of his grandmothers died in 2020 and his grandfathers had already died. No relatives like that. He's the eldest of these children that she has. Her boyfriend lives in the household as well, but he didn't have a phone number for him. So I don't know if he could do it. I am just thinking, maybe if I can speak to them and let them understand that somebody needs to bond them out and kind of explain to them what the situation is.
Okay, we'll leave it as is. And what we can do is if an amended order is needed, someone can contact me and copy Ms. McLeod so that it's not ex parte, and I will change the order if we're able to identify someone else. But for now, it's no contact and signature bond through pretrial. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any announcements on? Okay, I'm sorry. Who do we have at courtroom 2?
This is position 10, Ms. Pena. You tell me because I don't know.
Okay, Ms. Pena. All right. Oh, and Ms. McLeod, is that your last case with us today?
It is, Your Honor.
Did
All
you
right,
get the
Ms.
chat?
McLeod,
Did you get the address? Sorry.
Yes, I need the address. I'll just wait to see it.
I sent it in the chat on.
Okay, I see it.
Okay,
Thank you.
I just told you yes, one day.
All right, Ms. McLeod, if you don't have anything further, you're free to drop off and do your best to contact her. We'll still be here. Or you can hang on.
Thank you, and I'm going to try to contact her because I just don't like the idea of this child being in jail like that.
I don't either. I agree. All right. Good luck, Ms. McLeod. Godspeed.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Pena, your case is 23CR001668Y. You're charged with simple assault and willful obstruction with the offense date of March the 17th. Do you understand your right? Oh, you have not heard your rights. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet. It is also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. Do you understand all that, Ms. Pena?
They didn't give me the copy of the charges, because there's.
Well, I'm telling you the charge. I'm telling you the charges now. You're charged with simple assault and willful obstruction. Do you understand the charges?
Yes, well, they have to be an officer's signature that he.
Okay, I don't want you to say too much. Right, anything you say can be used against you, so I don't want you to say too much to me. Just very simple, yes or no. Do you understand your rights here today, that you have a right to an attorney?
I am the attorney. Is this the trial now?
I'm sorry?
Because I have the right to a public judgment and quick. Is now the trial? I am my attorney.
This is not a trial. You're correct. Do you understand that you have a right to an attorney and a
I
right
am my attorney. I don't want any other attorney. I am my own attorney.
Okay, but you understand that you have a right to one, yes or no?
Yes.
And you understand that you have a right to remain silent. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Howard, this has told me it's her first arrest. So we'll go to Ms. Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. I did have a 2022 simple battery arrest.
Okay. Mr. Howard, did you see that?
I'm looking it up. I didn't see it. Hold on.
Okay. Ms. Dillingham, please proceed.
Of course. This incident occurred yesterday, March 17th, when officers responded to 185 Central Avenue. The defendant was asked to leave the premises and refused to do so. The officers then attempted to escort her out of the premises, to which she resisted. She grabbed a stanchion post and attempted to swing it at the officer, putting the officer in fear for her safety. And she also attempted to spit on the officer as well. For those reasons, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond. That's $1,000 on each count. No drugs or weapons, and a stay away order from 185 Central Avenue unless there is official business, as that is the courthouse.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, is that, was that 185 our courthouse or 185 in a smaller city? Okay. All right, and Ms. Pena, I now have the difficult task of speaking with you, but also protecting your constitutional right to remain silent. It is my strong recommendation that you allow the Public Defender's Office to represent you today, and you're telling me that you do not wish to have the Public Defender represent you.
No, she's not my defendant. I'm telling you, that's not me. They are saying things that are not real, that not happen like that. If she's talking about me, that's why I'm asking. Is that not
okay? I don't want you to tell me your version of what happened. I'm asking you again. Would you like the Public Defender's Office to represent you?
No, I will hear. Okay, I will hear her allegations. Those are allegations. Okay.
Yes, they are. That is correct. They are allegations. That's correct. Ms. Pena, can you tell me about, do you live in the Atlanta area?
Okay, they are being recorded field because human rights violation. I came to Atlanta for lawyers, and some criminals stole my address called for potential lawyers.
Okay.
Because
I understand
there are people violating the law and they have assigned me. This is evidence here of the abuse and this.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Pena, I don't want you to say too much. I do not want you to say too much. Just answer my question, yes or no. Do you live in the Atlanta area?
No, because Pathway left me homeless. They were violating the law. Pathway.
You're homeless at this time?
Yes.
Are you homeless?
Homeless, yes.
You're homeless at this time.
Yes.
All right. And I'm assuming you're unemployed?
Yes, because I have to fix the problem because they
Okay.
violated the law against me and they are my witness.
Don't say too much. Thank you. All right. What I'm gonna do is defendant is gonna receive a $3,000 surety bond. It'll be $1,500 on each count. She is to stay away from the location, the incident location, the courthouse, unless she has official business. Ms. Dillingham,
I will not go to the courthouse anymore, but I have to go to the shrine. I'm a parishioner, only to take the food.
If you have business, you can be there. Ms. Dillingham, I am going to direct that the state prepare for me an MH order. I understand that typically that would be done by the defense, but that is my request here in light of the circumstances. All right. Is there anything further?
So the vote is for me to be out of prison. Why is the judgment, no, the trial?
I've set a bond for you. If you make that bond, you will be released from the Fulton County Jail. However, if you do not, you will have another court date on March the 30th, and we will revisit your case and some aspects of it, okay?
So where can I go to the court? How can I get the transportation here?
Okay,
I don't know what is right street. Is this right street? Because,
all right. What I suggest you do is, even though you do not wish to have the Public Defender's Office assist you, I suggest you contact them because you seem to have some questions and they may be able to help you, okay? I've set a bond in your case. Best of luck to you, Ms.
Because I would like to be away from here.
Okay, yes, okay. I don't want you to say too much. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Pena, I know you have other questions. I don't want you to say these things that you may say something that the state ends up using against you. So I've set a bond for you. Good luck, all right? All right. We now still have the 2 Smith cases that we are waiting on.
What about position number 9?
He was bonded out.
He bonded out?
Bonded out.
Okay.
Did you want to go over the calendar?
Oh, I was hoping that they were gonna come on right away.
Wishful
I guess
thinking.
not. I was assuming any second I was gonna see jail court iPhone. All right, Ms. Bridgewater, will you please review the calendar for me at the
Sure, I
suggestion of
will.
Howard?
Okay, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be March the 30th. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 total good bond. Position 2, SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 3, SAP calendar with a $600 good bond. Position 4, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 5, SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. Position 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 split bond. Position 7, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 8 and 9 have been released. Therefore, they're reset further notice. Position 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. Position 11 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $7,000 good bond. Position 12, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. 13, SAP calendar with a $5,000 good bond. We're waiting on 14 and 15. Position 16 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. Position 17, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 18, SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. Position 19, I'm holding. Position 20 is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 good bond. And position 21 was released, therefore it's reset further notice. Are there any questions, comments? Otherwise, we're back to waiting.
All right, I was hoping again that we would have some announcement from those positions.
Your Honor, I just got a phone call from the jail that they have a code blue going on, so nobody's actually getting to the jail to take them out, the both Smiths. So I interviewed them, but I did not have a chance to ask for a waiver of appearance.
We can't waive without, that's not good.
What was
Unless the
number
state-
19?
Okay.
What's a code blue?
Evacuation.
Like
whole jail?
fire, pretty
No,
much.
fire is red. Blue
Okay,
is
well,
fire
same,
red.
same difference, just a different color.
Yeah,
It's
the
same
medical
difference
issue.
to us. We're gonna be sitting here for a while. is the
Yes.
point.
Yes.
I'm sort of done, but that's okay. But I won't leave my partner.
It's Bridgewater
I-
Saturday.
The court does not feel comfortable to waive appearances without you having at least asked them, Ms. Kim. If
would
they
love to
waive
ask,
their
but they
right.
have no.
I know. I would. This is not good.
Hey,
So
position
Red's fire,
18.
blue's just evacuation.
It's gonna be a wait. Bottom line is we're stalling. It's gonna be a wait.
Does anyone have any
I'm
plans
sorry,
tonight?
Mr. Howard, you had a question regarding position 18.
Never mind.
All right, we're gonna. Are there other dynamic solutions that either the state or defense has for me at this time?
No, unfortunately, I think it's a DUI and a battery we have left, correct?
Okay, and it's not just criminal trespass.
Right.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Are bonds currently set on the DUI has a bond?
No, it doesn't. That's why he's still here. I think he probably would have bonded out.
Okay, well.
You want the
there's
history
that as
though?
well.
I think we have to-
No, because that's not gonna help. That's not gonna make it go any faster.
Can we do a consent to a waiver? Can both attorneys, both counsels consent to wavering?
I have a question. Daniel Lazzaroni, was he bonded out or was he not? I know his mom's an attorney and she was going to possibly represent him. So
What was
he
it?
had he had a bond, he posted it. But what I did was I set the bond at the posted bond in the event that he had not made it. So he has a bond regardless. Miss Bridgewater, I think we're talking about position 9.
Right.
Lazarati. So either
Okay.
way, even if he did not post bond, I set bond at whatever it was already. So
Right, I think it
Yeah,
was
he blew a 0.06. Just in case.
Melnick, would you like to come back to the solicitor's office?
That's way under the legal limit.
All right.
Just saying, just making conversation, killing time. 0.06.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to take a short break to get something besides this sparkling water to drink. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Oh, it's gonna be longer than that.
Miss Bridgewater, what happened to our sense of positivity?
Because I've been at that jail long enough to know. I'm just being a realist right now.
I hear
But keep
you.
hope alive.
Don't
5
keep hope
minutes,
alive.
we'll
It
come
takes
back.
forever to do everything.
See? Wow.
Oh, Miss Kim, in the future, I think we should all public defenders ask if you are unable to be brought, are you fine
Yeah.
with me waiving your appearance? Let's
A good
write a
learning.
note.
Yeah.
I
Let's
will
make
allow to
that
do
as a
so,
note.
just in case.
I don't know, but if you had even told me that they said waiver, I would have taken it today. But without some representation that they said it, I can't do it.
cannot lie.
No, please don't lie. I'm not encouraging you to lie.
And Miss Bridgewater is usually our beacon of hope. I mean,
And you know what I am, but today I'm being a realist. It's gonna be a minute.
All right, short recess, everyone. I'll be back in 5 minutes, even if the jail won't.
Miss Kim.
Yes.
What about that mental health for Talbot? I received the waiver, but not the order.
I'll double check and then send it out to you right now while we're
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Dillingham, if you send that other mental health for me too, while we're waiting.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Oh, hooray. All right. Who do we have at 3 South?
This is position 15.
All right, thank you. See, our 5-minute break held up. Is Miss Holly? Oh, Miss Holly's not back. I'll have to write down notes for her. All right, are you Wyatt Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see
Mrs.
his
Smith,
attorney.
Oh,
I'm
there she
here.
goes. Okay.
okay. Mrs. Smith, your case is 23 CR 001656F. You're charged with driving under the influence of alcohol and improper stopping with the offense date of March 17th. My name is Judge Melanie Williams. You're at the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. You have the absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney at this proceeding, and Ms. Kim is available to represent you. Additionally, this entire proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can watch this. Do you understand your rights, Mr. Smith, and how I'm conducting this hearing today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard, can I have his history?
Second arrest, 2020 possession of alcohol below legal age conviction.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor, and just to add to that conviction, it initially started out as a DUI and furnishing alcohol to a minor. He pled out on May 16th of last year. They reduced the DUI to a reckless driving, which was a guilty conviction. And he also pled guilty to distributing alcohol to a minor, and that's out of Dawson County, May of last year. In this case, Roswell PD responded to a welfare check at the intersection of Devonshire Drive and Regency Road. The defendant was behind the wheel asleep in the intersection. After waking the defendant, he admitted to having 2 beers prior to getting behind the wheel. He refused field sobrieties. At that time, he was taken into custody and he was charged with DUI less safe. The state's asking for a $3,000 surety bond on that count. On the improper backing, we are asking for a $1,000 surety, and we're also asking for no driving without a valid license, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Smith is 22 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia, and he is self-employed as a agent, kind of like he wants to be a life insurance agent, and yet I don't think he is licensed yet. He's working at Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company. He's been doing that for about 10 months. He's also a graduate from high school. He is actually still going to college as of now. We would like to request for a signature on bond, and yet considering the fact that we rarely get any signature on bond for the DUI, we would like to request for $1,000 good bond and $1,000 signature on bond through jail for improper stopping. Thank you.
All right, defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond, $2,000 on count 1, $500 on count 2. He's not to drive unless he has a valid license issued by the Georgia DDS. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. That concludes Mr. Smith's bond hearing. Is there anything further from either the state or the defense?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Smith. Your case will be reset as well should you not make that bond to the March 30th state all-purpose calendar, whereby your bond can be revisited. All right. Is the other Mr. Smith at courtroom at 3 South? Oh no. Did we lose 3 South? We did. All right, back on hold temporarily. All right, we have someone at 5 North, I assume is Elijah Smith, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, Mrs. Smith, your case is 23 CR 001659G. In this case, you're charged with battery and criminal attempt to commit a misdemeanor with the offense date of March the 16th. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney today. This is a state expedited accusations calendar, and I'm Judge Melanie Williams. We're conducting this calendar via video. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. We're live streaming it. Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting this hearing today?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
Third arrest. He has an open robbery in Superior Court, 22 SC 184878. And what appears to be an open armed robbery in Clayton County. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred March 16, 2023. This occurred at Fulton County Jail, 901 Rice Street Northwest, where the defendant was being held on another charge. On this day, they learned from the victim, in this case, Mr. Amid Ahmed, A-M-I-D, last name Ahmed, A-N-M-E-D, who stated that the defendant had dragged him into their cell and began punching him, that the defendant told him to give him $100, and if he didn't do so, he would continue to get beat. That was what was quoted. And the defendant continued punching Mr. Ahmed because he did not have $100. The officers did observe severe swelling to Mr. Ahmed's head. He had to go to medical as he had a large knot on the right side of his temple. And he had requested specifically to be moved away from this defendant. So for those reasons, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond. That's $2,000 on each charge, battery, and the criminal attempt to commit a misdemeanor, and no further contact with Amid Ahmed.
All right, and I'm assuming that a stay away is not appropriate in this case. All right, Ms. Kim, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Smith is 20 years old, Your Honor. He was born and raised here in Georgia, and he has been incarcerated for about a year. He was in Clayton County for another charge, and he's almost done with the open case that we have here in Fulton County. He has a private attorney who is working on the case. March 30 is the day that he was supposed to have a final plea and get out of the jail. He was looking forward to it. He did not want to cause any trouble because he really is very close to be out of the jail. So he denies the allegation just because he had a little bit of redness on his hand. They didn't mean that he was the one who was punching the inmate. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond. He's not going anywhere anyway, because of the other felony charge that he is currently taking care of. Currently in prison for that. So we would like to request for a signature on bond for this.
All right, defendants will receive a $3,000 surety bond, 2,000 count one, 1,000 count two. Needs to have no contact with the alleged victim and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further,
Nothing
Your
further
Honor.
from the state.
Thank you.
All right. Was there an announcement for position 19? I realized we didn't do that position either. Did 19 perhaps bond out?
I have nothing about that person. I'm waiting to hear him.
Me too.
Oh, okay. All right. Again, extremely unfortunate. All right, we'll be.
Your Honor, if I may, who should I send this MH order to?
Ms. Bridgewater, please.
Okay, great.
So what are we gonna do about 19?
Pray.
That always works.
Position 19 does have a bond in the system.
Okay, well, I guess we need to let the judge know that.
I've been informed we're trying to locate position 19.
Okay.
Happy Saturday, y'all.
Happy Saturday.
Look like position number 19 is gonna be a reset.
Is there a certain reason why?
Is it a Is it a medical reset?
Behavior.
Behavior. Okay.
Well, that's slightly
Okay.
problematic because he was arrested yesterday, correct?
So the 72 hours will,
Was Monday?
yeah.
Okay, well, cross our
Well,
fingers.
I mean, if there's nothing we can do. He's refusing to come out. Is that what's happening?
He just behaved, acting out.
Okay. You said Mr. Walker, he was booked in yesterday?
Yeah, but I guess Monday will still be within 72 hours, if my math is right.
It is.
And I guess, and again, it's not quite Riverside if there's some reason. There's a reason for the delay. I don't like it. I would prefer to sit bond today, but if it's impossible.
Who said that he couldn't come out?
Well, they're saying it's a behavioral. I didn't say that. I was just informed that there's a behavior. Can a phone be taken to him by any chance? I just have to ask.
We don't, there's no phone up there where he is. The only phone up there is where the officers sit. There's no phone for him to use.
Okay. No chance anyone waived his appearance, is there? No? All right. Mr. Willis will be, unfortunately, reset
320.
320 SCA. I'm just making sure he was booked in yesterday today.
Yeah, it happened yesterday, so.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot we can do.
Yeah.
So I don't have a choice but to reset him to Monday's SCA. All right. I think does that conclude our entire calendar?
It does.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions, comments? All right. Hearing none, we'll be in recess until the SEA calendar on Monday. I will not be presiding, but I will be here Tuesday. So hopefully I'll see some of you then. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Judge, the paperwork is on its way.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms.
Everyone
Walker.
enjoy the remainder of your weekend, okay?
Thank you.
And we still finished by 4 p.m. That's pretty
We
good.
did. So let's get off of this before we extend it past 4.
Bye-bye.
Bye.